Service hours is a big thing, of course, with schools. Well, we like them to come and help. It takes lots of people to do what we do, but we also want them to have the chance to see what that relationship can be, to meet the people they're serving, to be able to talk to them, to to fold clothes with someone who is someone they never meet otherwise. When we began the center, we had 2 town hall meetings with our homeless folks. We had been doing the Feed the Hungry program. They were used to us handing out food. They were knowing that we cared about them, but we decided we wanted to go deeper. So in order to go deeper, we felt we had to have their voice. We needed to know from the people, what is it they needed? What services out of these 341 social service agencies were not working for them? So we had one group, first time 126 came, and they told us nice things. They didn't want to say too much. You know, they said, we love you giving us food. It's the only place we feel we can get it without having to prove that we're hungry. And we said, oh, how nice. They said, we need tennis shoes and we need t-shirts. This was in July. 2 weeks later, we come back and we have the t-shirts and we have the tennis shoes and we had the jeans and we had more hamburgers and hot dogs and we had volleyball and we had some other card games, and we had 280 people come that time. And so we sat down and shared the meal with them and just talked, shared stories. And they finally, at the end, we said, we need to take some notes because we need to really know what you need. We don't want to be duplicating services. And they said, we need a place where we can go and sit and not be arrested for loitering. We need a place where we can go to the restroom and not be arrested for public indecency. We need a place where we know we can get at least 1 meal a day. It'd be nice to have 3. I remember one of the little guys telling me that. They needed a place to take a shower because they wanted to go in for work and to get jobs, but they smelled bad. And they said, you know, people give us free clothing at these clothing banks, but there's no place to wash the clothes. And there's no place we can wash ourselves. But they said, more than anything, we need a place we can belong. And need a place where people aren't going to chase us off. And you know, the truth is that describes the Catholic Action Center. Well, we do anywhere between 20 and 30 loads a day. And these folks, all of this is done by volunteers. All of these are clothes that people couldn't afford to have done. We don't even, and in this economy now, we're seeing such an increase for families because people can't afford to pay what it costs to go to a laundromat and also have enough to buy milk for their children.
That people, when they go on trips, when they're staying in motels, they bring us back the soaps and lotions that they have. If they don't use them, they bring them back to us. So what we do then, the people that take showers in Catholic Action Center and the people here, we give them these free, because buying shampoos, buying lotions, buying soap is very expensive. And so we get a lot of these and we give them out every single day to people. And then sometimes they bring
hundreds of showers a day. And on March 11th, 2002, my son died on February 14th, 2001. His birthday was March 11th. But the following year, not just a few months later, the following year, I went into the center. I was going to go down to Gethsemane for the day. But I had to drop off some paperwork with somebody. I forget what it was, so I go rushing in there before 9 o'clock. We'd been open all night. The person at the front desk said, Ginny, there's a guy here who's got to talk to you. And I said, no, I can't. And he said, no, he's got to talk to you. And I said, well, just tell him we don't give money, because that's what everybody wants to talk to you. I got to talk to the director. He said, he had to talk to you. He said, he is not going to talk to anybody else. He said, he has to talk to you if you only have 3 minutes. And I said, okay, tell him as soon as I finish this, I've got 3 minutes, I'll meet him, and then please, you know, let him know that I really don't have to. And he said, are you Jenny? And I said, yeah. And he said, I'm John, I really just need 2 minutes of your time, please. And he said, no, I just have to tell you this. He said, last night I came to the Catholic Action Center for the first time because I'd heard there was really good food. He said, I had planned to end my life last night. I decided I wanted one good meal. He's 28 years old. He graduated from Tates Creek High School here in Lexington. He was an Anglo-Saxon man who his family had totally cut loose completely because of all of the problems, and he took total responsibility. He said, I have broken my mother's heart. I have absolutely stolen from everybody in my family. I have been lived for drugs and alcohol. I have been given 3 chances to be clean and sober and gone through programs, and I have never taken advantage of them. And I knew that I was never going to be able to, so I knew the best thing I could do for everybody was to end my life. He said, I walked in the front door, and there were these kids standing there. We had a youth group, and we had too many of them. So we made some of them greeters. That's right. You know, that's what we would do. They stood at the door, and they said, hi, how are you? And he said, I looked behind me, because everybody who knows me is not going to say hello. They're going to say, why are you here? He said, I was afraid to come, thinking you all would know my reputation before and know I'm a thief and tell me to leave. But he said, instead, these kids said, hi, how are you? So he thought they were talking to somebody behind them. And they said, no, we're talking to you. Come on in. We're just getting ready to pray before they eat. And he looked around, and they said, have you never been here before? You're just going to get in line and go up there, and they'll serve you. Then just sit down. There's nothing formal. The kids welcomed him. He stood there and went through the line. He gets up to eat, and kids were saying, can I give you some of this? Do you want more of that? He said, they were giving me choices. He said, I didn't expect this. And he said, I knew in my heart they thought I was somebody else. So in the middle of the night, John said that he realized he got kicked by somebody and said, telling him to be quiet. And he realized he'd been sobbing. He realized that his whole body had been racked, that he'd been sobbing. And he felt like that there was something that had touched him that made him want to have another chance. Because he had decided he'd spend the night, but in the morning he still knew where he was going, how he was ending his life. The guy who knocked him and he thought that he was going to tell him to leave again. And he said, man, we've all been there. This voice in the night, another homeless person, we've all been there. You're no worse than any of us. But if you want a chance, they'll give you one. He said, there's a place they send people in Erie, Pennsylvania. It's not going to cost you anything, but it's going to change you. And the guy told him, no, you got to see Ginny in the morning. She's the one that'll send you. And I heard from him ever so often, and then the next thing I knew, it was Christmas Eve, and our Jewish Fellowship Federation comes every Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and serves and prepares the meals for us so that people are off. And I came in to tell everybody hi, good friends, and and they said, there's somebody here who wants to see you. And they said, he's over there washing the dishes. And I come in, and there's John. And he said, Miss Ginny, I'm back. I've been back a month. I feel bad I haven't gotten hold of you, but I had to go marry the woman who had my 2 children. He said, I've got a job too, but I'm not forgetting you all, and I'm coming back and helping every Christmas. And he does. Mother Teresa says this the best. And I think that we both can say that in our lives and in our life with the Catholic Action Center, it has proven out. Because what she says is the gift of silence is prayer. The gift of prayer is faith. The gift of faith is love. The gift of love is service. You got to give the service. But the gift of service is peace. We wish everyone to have that gift of peace that comes with giving. There is no question we can all solve the misery of poverty that exists in our country and in our city when we do it together.